Đó là những cái lời tôi khuyên, tôi nhắc những người Tây Phương nhìn lại để cố gắng làm sao tạo điều kiện tốt, tiến tu theo thiền để quay lại mình, để mai kia mình có cái hướng đi bù đắp lại cái thiếu mà hiện giờ chúng ta đang mắc phải. Đó là lời nhắc của chúng tôi.
Xin Ngài từ bi ban cho những người Tây Phương đang bước vào ngưỡng cửa Phật giáo những lời khuyên dạy thích ứng.
Theo cái lời của quý vị muốn tôi nhắc nhở thêm, thì đây là cái lời chân thành của tôi nhắc nhở tất cả Phật tử hay là những người có cảm tình với đạo Phật. Tôi thấy cái hoàn cảnh sống của người Tây Phương bây giờ thì thật là ồn ào, nhộn nhịp, vì cái cơ giới nó quá mạnh mẽ, quá tiến triển. Tôi nghĩ muốn rằng tất cả quý vị nên có cơ hội vào trong thiền viện, ngồi yên tĩnh 15-20 phút để cho tâm trí mình nó nhẹ nhàng. Đó là cái điều thứ nhất. Điều thứ hai là tôi rất thương quý cụ già ở bên này, lớn tuổi rồi phải ở riêng một mình, không có con cháu tới lui thăm viếng, thì sao buồn, làm cho cái tinh thần dễ lẫn quẩn. Nếu mà quý vị biết tu, quý vị ráng trong cái khi tuổi lớn, mình ráng tập tọa thiền bằng cách ngồi cách nào cũng thế nào cũng được, với tư thế nào miễn ngồi cho nó yên tĩnh, rồi quay tìm soi sáng lại mình, đừng thèm trông, đừng thèm đợi ai. Thì như vậy cái tâm trí mình nó càng ngày càng tỉnh, càng sáng hơn. Và như vậy thì mình không có bị cái buồn, không có bị cái lãng trí. Chứ nếu mà mình cứ ngồi trong người này nhớ kẻ kia, mà khi đó tâm mình nó bất an thì dễ sanh ra bệnh hoạn. Thì như vậy thì tôi chỉ khuyên người trẻ thì ráng dành ít thì giờ tập tọa thiền cho tâm yên tĩnh, để cho trí mình nó không có bị xáo động mà làm cho rối rắm. Người lớn tuổi cũng nên tập tọa thiền để cho bớt nhớ nhung những cái bên ngoài, lòng mình yên tĩnh cho tới ngày nhắm mắt có đường đi sáng sủa. Đó là lời nhắc nhở chót của tôi.
Ngài còn chỉ giáo gì thêm không?
Về lớp trẻ ở Việt Nam thì chúng tôi có hy vọng rằng ngày mai kia họ sẽ tìm tới với Phật giáo nhiều hơn hiện nay, và họ hiểu đạo Phật sẽ sáng sủa hơn bây giờ. Tại sao chúng tôi có hy vọng đó? Bởi vì hiện giờ chúng tôi giảng dạy ở các thiền viện thì thấy rằng lớp trẻ họ rất thích thú tu thiền. Bởi vì ở xứ Việt Nam chúng tôi hiện giờ thì Phật giáo, các chùa đa số thì tu theo tịnh độ, nhưng mà lớp già thì họ chịu, lớp trẻ thì họ lại không thích. Lớp trẻ thì họ thích tu thiền. Bởi vậy cho nên chúng tôi hy vọng rằng nếu điều kiện tốt, chúng tôi mở rộng được các cái chỗ giảng dạy cho Phật tử trẻ tuổi, họ hiểu được thiền, thì có lẽ rằng họ sẽ tu tiến đông và nhiều hơn bây giờ nữa. Tại sao chúng tôi nghĩ như vậy? Bởi vì thiền là dạy cho chúng ta biết được cái lẽ thật nơi con người mình, chứ không phải cầu tìm ở đâu xa lạ khác. Mà người trẻ bây giờ họ thích thực tế, nói cái gì, làm cái gì họ phải kiểm chứng được. Thì chính cái tu thiền là cái tự mình kiểm chứng được cái kết quả của mình tu. Mình tu được nhiều, mình tu ít, đều mình biết hết, không có sai chạy. Như vậy thì thiền là một cái cơ hội tốt cho cái lớp người trẻ ở Việt Nam, họ sẽ tiến và tiến nhiều hơn nữa. Còn nếu nói về người Tây Phương thì người Tây Phương đối với cái nền tôn giáo xưa cũ có thể lần lần họ bớt lòng tin. Tôi thấy có lý, bởi vì hiện giờ cái khoa học đã tiến quá nhanh, nó tiến vượt bậc. Mà khoa học càng tiến nhanh thì chúng ta sẽ thấy cái niềm tin ở một đấng nào đó nó sẽ bị giảm. Bởi vì sao? Bởi vì khoa học đã chứng minh, đã nói lên những cái lẽ thực chung quanh chúng ta và kể cả ngoài chúng ta nữa. Những cái gì khoa học đã có, đã thấy thì họ đã công bố hẳn hoi, làm cho cái người đã có lòng tín ngưỡng ngày xưa dễ suy giảm lòng tin. Nhưng mà với cái thiền mà chúng tôi hiện giờ đang dạy, đang tu, thì chúng tôi tin rằng người Tây Phương trẻ sẽ thích. Tại sao vậy? Bởi vì hiện giờ khoa học đã tiến quá xa, thì mọi cái nhu cầu tiện nghi của con người nó gần như đầy đủ. Mà đã đầy đủ rồi thì tự nhiên người ta phải hỏi lại, mình là cái gì? Mình là cái gì mà có và đang sống đây? Khi người ta thiếu ăn, thiếu mặc thì người ta phải chạy theo cái ăn cái mặc, lo cho có ăn có mặc. Nhưng bây giờ ăn mặc đã dư thừa thì tự nhiên người ta phải tìm lại coi mình là cái gì mà đương thụ hưởng mọi cái nhu cầu ăn mặc đây. Thì nếu muốn tìm lại coi mình là cái gì thì tự nhiên đó là cái cơ hội để cho người Tây Phương trở về với thiền. Tại sao vậy? Bởi khi mà chúng ta đã hiểu rõ những cái nhu cầu tìm kiếm bên ngoài nó không thể cùng tận, mà nếu càng tìm kiếm thì càng quên, càng mất mình. Bây giờ chúng ta phải xoay lại, tìm cái mình là cái gì, thấy rõ mình, biết được mình, thì chừng đó là cái thiết yếu cho những cái người có lương tri, cần sự sống. Nếu mà chúng ta không biết mình là cái gì, dù cho có đầy đủ phương tiện khoa học cũng là cái thừa nếu mình không biết mình. Vì vậy mà tôi tin và tôi mong những người thanh niên còn trẻ ở Tây Phương nên có một chút thì giờ để quay lại hướng về mình, thấy rõ mình, thì cái điều đó là cái điều thiết yếu. Và tôi tin chắc rằng sẽ có nhiều người phát tâm như vậy.
Kính bạch Hòa Thượng, một lần nữa xin cảm ơn Hòa Thượng đã chỉ dạy cho chúng con và chư Phật tử bốn phương.
Living in this world, once basic needs have been satisfied, we begin searching for other comforts, for peace of mind. Very soon, we begin looking for a spiritual home as a part of that quest. Once this phase of our search has begun, we are faced with the great unknowns that have stood before mankind throughout our history. Where did we come from? Where do we go after death? How can we bring meaning to this life? In our quest to find comfort, we have created religion in diverse forms. Most religions place God squarely at the center. Buddhism does not. Can there be a religion without a God? I'm Frank Jameson, professor at Western Michigan University. I feel very fortunate to ask you to join me for the following unique interview with the most respected meditation master of Vietnam. With our cameras looking on, the most venerable Tuan Thu will provide us with his understanding of the answers to these basic questions. It is his belief that meditation offers the pathway to enlightenment. He has spent his lifetime practicing and teaching meditation and has established centers throughout Vietnam in the tradition of the ancient and highly respected Bamboo Forest School of Zen. When I learned that the Venerable Master was to travel out of his homeland for the first time and would be teaching in France, Canada, and the United States in the fall of 1994, it seemed imperative to arrange a television interview with this important Buddhist leader. In the company of my friend Ninh Tam, also of Kalamazoo, Michigan, we caught up with Tuan Thu in Toronto, Ontario, where we did preliminary planning with him and members of his entourage and conducted a public interview. It was during the Master's subsequent visit to the Van Han Vietnamese Buddhist Temple in Centerville, Virginia, that the following interview was taken. First, Venerable Master, thank you very much for consenting to this interview. I know your time is limited, and we really appreciate very much being able to hear your thoughts. To begin with, please tell us about your early life and how you became a monk.
Theo thiền sư thì ít có chịu.
Masters of meditation, in general, rarely talk about themselves. In other words, they tend not to reveal their personal lives. However, since you asked, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a rural area in Vietnam during a period when there was all-out war in my country. I became a monk simply because I did not want to get involved in warfare. I did not want to kill anybody. I found the only way to avoid killing was to take refuge in a Buddhist temple. That is the simple reason I left secular life.
Well, would you please describe something of your daily life in Vietnam as it is now? Do you live in isolation? Are you supported perhaps by a Buddhist Sangha? And maybe you could tell us a little bit about what a typical day for you is like.
Về cái cuộc sống hàng ngày.
With regard to my daily life in Vietnam, whether in a monastery or in one of our meditation centers, I live neither totally in isolation nor entirely together with my Sangha. I live in a hut with a novice monk within the boundary of the meditation center, where a large number of monks also live. We always follow the same daily schedule. The early morning meditation starts at 3 a.m. and ends at 5 a.m. A small breakfast is served at 6. Then I take the routine exercise for about half an hour by working in the flower garden. From then on, my schedule is quite flexible, meeting with visitors or studying Buddhist books, history, and writing on Buddhist meditation, both for translating and teaching purposes. We have lunch around noon and rest until 2 o'clock. The afternoon schedule is quite similar to that of the morning, meeting with visitors who may have questions. Otherwise, most of my time is devoted to studying and translating Buddhist teachings and history. At 5 in the afternoon, I go and visit the monks and nuns for 1 hour. We have a glass of milk at 6. Then the evening meditation session starts at 7 and ends at 9. That's our daily activity.
Would you please give us an overview of Buddhism in Vietnam, a little bit about the history, perhaps something about the basic teachings and beliefs, and something of the modern organization of Buddhism, and perhaps a little bit about the duties of the Sangha and the lay communities.
Về cái tổ chức của Phật giáo Việt Nam.
The Vietnamese Buddhist Church oversees all Buddhist activities. It is divided into 3 distinct branches. However, its primary objective remains to educate the Sangha, which is composed of monks and nuns and other Buddhist followers. In Vietnam, people join the Sangha in great numbers. The young ones normally attend formal Buddhist schools. The older ones mostly study on their own, attend periodic teaching sessions, and reside in isolated small temples. Then there are also lay Buddhist followers, male and female, old and young. The young ones often join Buddhist youth groups, known in Vietnam as Buddhist youth families. They are led by older Buddhist youths who guide and teach the groups. Every Sunday, the members get together to pray or listen to their leaders interpret the Dharma. In Vietnam, all Buddhists are encouraged to observe the precepts. The novice must observe 10 vows. Ordained monks and nuns observe 250 vows. Lay Buddhists are to observe 5 vows, which serve as the basis for their moral development. The degree to which each person observes these rules depends on individual circumstances, although a sincere effort must be made to fulfill these aspirations. Charitable activities are primarily the responsibility of the lay Buddhist community. Members of the Sangha concentrate instead on understanding the Dharma so they can teach Buddhist followers. This is their contribution. Lay Buddhists, on the other hand, donate their wealth to help the poor and suffering. This is the lay community contribution. So there is a clear distinction in the primary responsibilities of the Sangha and lay Buddhists.
Meditation attracts many Westerners to Buddhism, but would you tell us a little bit about your form of meditation and perhaps something about its role in Vietnamese Buddhism today?
Về thiền quán mà hiện giờ
Meditation, in which Westerners show interest, is used to teach the Buddhist Sangha and other followers in Vietnam. The following story will help you understand. In Chinese Buddhist history, a meditation master named Bodhidharma was approached by one of his disciples. "Master, my mind is not at peace. Please teach me how to calm my mind," he said. The master asked the disciple to show him his mind so that the master could help calm it. The disciple tried in vain to find his own mind. After a time, he said to his teacher, "Most venerable master, I cannot find my mind." At that very moment, the disciple came to understand meditation. This story conveys the essence of the meditation method we practice. In teaching meditation, we urge our followers to look deeply into themselves, to observe how their minds move around, and to discover where their minds are taking them. We have seen that as we search for the mind, it disappears. And if we let go of this concentration, the busyness may return again. Due to our ignorance, normally we believe that what we think, feel, and see through our senses is real. These illusions, known as samsara, can lead us to create more and more karma. Therefore, I always remind the people in my Sangha to watch their minds and to be aware that manifestations of the senses, these day-to-day illusions, are not real and are temporary. Therefore, I always remind them not to be misled by these phenomena. They are also reminded to concentrate on the things they are doing at a particular moment and to eliminate any other thoughts. In so doing, not only do we stay in control of our mind while practicing meditation, but also during any other task we undertake. This gradually brings about a peaceful mind. This way of viewing our mind not only applies as we sit, but is practiced all the time, as we walk, stand, lie down. In fact, we should watch our minds at every moment. Therefore, this way of meditations differs from concentration on breathing or cultivation of sublime states, and so on. This is a brief overview of our meditation and how we practice and teach others. You may want to read more on this subject.
Are lay people encouraged to meditate, or is this only for the ordained?
Về cái người cư sĩ,
The lay Buddhist followers are different from those who are ordained. However, meditation may be equally beneficial for both groups, even though those who are ordained may have more time for practice than the busy lay followers. The main purpose of meditation is to remain lucid, to shine the light inside to watch all sensory manifestations as they appear. One should concentrate on what one is doing at every moment, whether working, playing, or doing other things. Ordained people, for instance, can meditate while doing things like sweeping the floor, mowing the lawn, or preparing a meal. So meditation is not limited to a few leisure moments when one actually sits down. It may be done at any time. Meditation, therefore, can be practiced by everybody.
Well, how do you personally teach meditation to your students?
Về hiện tại, tôi dạy.
Teaching meditation is not easy, whether to the ordained or to lay followers. The problem associated with teaching meditation comes from the fact that meditation has no outward form. Therefore, results are difficult for the teachers to gauge. For instance, the progress of those who recite prayers can be measured by the amount of time they spend praying. Praying by counting a string of beads is also measurable. Those who practice sitting meditation neither use strings of beads nor recite prayers. Their progress is more difficult to measure. It is our practice at the Truklam Meditation Center that the monks and nuns meditate for 2 hours, 3 times a day. We have found that this method is good. People often allow their 6 senses to distract and ultimately clutter their mind. Now, by sitting quietly and focusing all energy inwardly, one can see every tiny illusion more clearly. By mastering ourselves, we dwell in peace. With the mind at peace, sooner or later, the light of wisdom will burn within us. In addition to the 6 hours of sitting meditation, Our monks and nuns are required to spend 1 hour daily reflecting on past conduct. They also recite sutra or Buddhist scripture during meals and are reminded to stay in control of their minds and bodies. That is the way I teach meditation at our centers in Vietnam.
Well, do you encourage other forms of meditation, such as the repeating of mantras or elaborate visualizations, yoga, or perhaps other forms?
Về cái sự khuyến khích cho những
I rarely encourage other forms of meditation, such as yoga or the contemplation of Zen koans. The reason for this is that it is better to directly reflect on one's mind to find out whether it is at peace. When the mind is at peace, the brilliance of wisdom appears. Wisdom would not appear if the mind were not at peace. Meditation practitioners put all their efforts into focusing the light of wisdom within themselves. Generally, Buddhist teachings require discipline, concentration, and wisdom. And concentration is normally perceived as the foundation leading to wisdom. In Buddhist meditation, concentration and wisdom are seen as simultaneous. In fact, at the very moment when we reflect on ourselves and recognize every tiny sensual manifestation or illusion, our mind becomes calm. We have attained both concentration and wisdom. In the form of meditation we teach, concentration and wisdom are together, inseparable. Wisdom is present in concentration and vice versa. If the emphasis is placed on wisdom, then concentration and wisdom are distinct. If one seeks to attain wisdom so that mind can concentrate, then wisdom and concentration are viewed as separate. We practice meditation through simultaneous concentration and wisdom, and each helps and fosters the other. Because we are continually reflecting on our own mind through wisdom, we are calming it. Because the mind is calm, concentration reigns. We do not advise other methods of meditation such as yoga, which require so much time and hard work. As enlightenment is our ultimate aim, nothing else will matter as long as we attain peace and wisdom. Members of our Sangha are constantly reminded to reflect inwardly to find their true selves.
As the pace of life in Vietnam increases, how can meditation be maintained and encouraged?
Ở Việt Nam, tùy cái nếp sống.
Although the pace of life in Vietnam is increasing and people are becoming busier, we still urge them to develop their virtues. They are told that no matter how busy they are, they can always develop their virtues without waiting for spare time. Merchants, for instance, may be so busy during business hours that their minds are never at rest. It would be advisable for them to concentrate solely on their business without thinking of anything else. This may sound paradoxical, but by reducing distractions, the mind is much more at rest. This enhances the development of virtue.
What's your understanding of how meditation leads to enlightenment? And would you describe the state of enlightenment or nirvana or samadhi?
Về cái chỗ tu hành của chúng tôi.
In our practice of meditation, we should not think of what we may achieve or attain, because terms such as achievement or attainment are not considered appropriate. However, for those people who practice meditation, especially Westerners, it would not be encouraging if we said that nothing is to be gained. Here are some thoughts. As we meditate, the mind enjoys moments of peace and a certain wisdom arises. The mind may be compared to the full moon overshadowed by thick clouds. As the clouds get thinner, more moonlight can be seen. The light of the moon has always been present above, but could not be seen because of thick clouds. If the clouds disappear, the moon can be fully seen. Our mind is ever present, just like the moonlight. The mind may have been overshadowed by our ignorance and defilements, just like the clouds overshadow the moon. As ignorance and defilements diminish, mindfulness gradually appears. Meditation practitioners may experience many small moments of enlightenment and a few moments of greater enlightenment. These delightful experiences are helpful in encouraging practitioners to continue their meditation. Buddhist followers have been told that their practice will benefit if they regulate their behavior, and that they will attain enlightenment if they are not attached to this illusion which is called life. There are no secrets or mysteries along the path to enlightenment. If we are not able to devote enough determination and energy to our path, we will not attain enlightenment. It is, however, difficult to describe the state of enlightenment. In following the path, we embark on a search for the real self, the true self, that which is known as our original face. To see our original face is to see the truth. Only those who have found the truth have the right to preach. I have personally had such experience, so I do not hesitate to preach. I always remind Buddhist followers that they should search for their true selves. One should not forget one's true self and should not attach importance to the four basic elements which make up our mundane bodies. These four elements, fluid, air, heat, and earth, are not permanent and are only illusions which we often confuse with our true selves. So our purpose in preaching is to make people recognize the truth. In terms of meditation, being able to recognize the truth is enlightenment.
Well, is there anything else that you'd care to say about meditation?
Được, tôi sẽ nói một vài điểm về thiền.
Yes, I do have some more thoughts on the subject of meditation. In Buddhism, the ascetic Siddhartha meditated under the Bodhi tree, where he attained enlightenment. Meditation is, therefore, looked upon as a root of Buddhism. The historical Buddha meditated, trying to find answers to critical questions, such as where human beings come from and where they will go after death. He left home to learn from various religious masters, but found no satisfactory answers. After a time of wandering by himself, he found a rose apple tree, the Bodhi tree, and sat beneath it to meditate. After 49 days of effort, he attained enlightenment. This gave him 3 divine abilities. The first of these were the divine eye, which allows clear vision of the universe with its unlimited expanses. He could see worlds as numerous as the grains of sand in the river bank. He also had the power to see microorganisms within a cup of water, which led him to advise others to filter their water before drinking it. His second great ability allowed him, in a space of a few moments, to see the infinite cycle of birth, death, and reincarnation in himself and in others. Living beings are destined to follow their karmic forces in this cycle of birth and rebirth. The third supernormal ability allowed the Buddha to understand the law that brings about the hellish cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and then the causes of these samsaric cycles and how to end them. Once he grasped these laws, he began to preach. His first teachings were the Four Noble Truths and the 12 Chains of Causation, or Paticca Samuppada, also known as dependent arising or dependent origination. These teachings explain how the vicious cycle continues and how they can be brought to an end. This is the state of ascetic Siddhartha attained. It later would serve as a model for anyone who wants to regulate their behavior, to search for the causes of birth, death, and rebirth, and to find ways to avoid this vicious cycle. That is also why we practice meditation. The Sangha, as well as lay Buddhist followers, are constantly reminded to regulate their behavior to end the cycle of birth and death, or at least to be reborn in a higher realm. As we see it, Nirvana is a state in which the thought of birth and death is extinguished. The extinction of such thoughts invites a state of serenity, which is long-lasting, unobscured, ever-present, permanent, and always sufficient. This is Nirvana. Therefore, meditation seeks to dispel illusion, to attain final peace. This is the true self, the state of Nirvana within the true self. Therefore, the purpose of meditation is to search for the true self. It is this true self that a majority of people have forgotten.
Buddhism shocks many Westerners because it's not centered on the worship of a god. Can there really be a religion without a god?
Phật giáo không thừa nhận có.
Buddhism does not accept the concept of God, but we respect all other religions which teach and guide people to become better. From a spiritual point of view, there are two reasons why Buddhism is perceived as a religion. The first reason involves the concept of karma. Human beings create their own karma through their actions, thoughts, and words. These habitual patterns or karmic forces can lead people to misery or happiness. By having good actions, thoughts, or words, we create our own happiness. By having bad actions, thoughts, or words, we build our own misery. We are the architect of our own fate, and no God can give us misery or happiness. People regulate their behavior in order to avoid creating bad karma. Since Buddhists want to avoid bad karma, they practice good deeds and avoid bad actions. We are responsible for our own deeds, happiness, and misery. So when we Buddhists fear karma, we actually fear ourselves, not anybody else. The second reason involves respecting the Buddha, not for his ability to give us happiness or misery, but for having shown us the path to enlightenment. Buddhist followers who thus see the path may want to regulate their behavior accordingly to attain enlightenment. And when we become enlightened, we respect the Buddha even more, since without his discoveries and teachings, we would have remained in the darkness of ignorance forever. Even though no God can reward or punish us, the Buddha helps us see our true selves more clearly. Therefore, we respect the Buddha just as we respect any other great teacher.
Well, many Westerners are now looking to Buddhism to satisfy their spiritual needs. What do you hope for the future of Buddhism in a fast-paced, materialistic, and rather individualized West?
Tuy người Tây phương hiện giờ có cái
Westerners are considering Buddhism.
tìm hiểu
good,
về Phật giáo,
But I would like to ask them how they see Buddhism and how they could practice it. I have some practical recommendations for Westerners who are either sympathetic to or who are considering practicing Buddhism in Vietnam as well as elsewhere in the world. There are different ways to practice Buddhism. For Westerners who may be preoccupied with scientific progress or materialistic issues, it may be more appropriate to practice meditation, which allows them to be introspective. So far, Western societies have made great progress in understanding, in discovering our external world. Thanks to this progress, people are well-fed and happy. However, science without morality may pose a great disaster to humanity. We should create a balance in the development of science and morality. We should also have a balance in the way we live, between the material and the spiritual. Busy as we all are, we should not forget to make time for quiet moments so we can look into ourselves, to find our true selves, to have compassion for others, and to create peace for ourselves as well as for the world.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Theo cái lời của quý vị,
I would like to say a few more words to Buddhist followers and those who are sympathetic to Buddhism. In the West, you live in a highly developed and busy society. Younger people may want to spend 15 or 20 minutes a day practicing meditation in a secluded place to calm their minds. I also heartily sympathize with elderly people in the West who often seem to end up living alone, day after day longing for a visit from their children or grandchildren who may live far away. I encourage these people to practice meditation daily to alleviate suffering, anxiety, and feelings of isolation. This is my advice to both elderly and young people in the West who can all benefit from the practice of meditation.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us now?
về lớp trẻ ở Việt Nam,
We hope that young people living in Vietnam will be drawn more and more to Buddhism and that they will better understand it. The reason for this is that when we teach meditation at our centers, the young people like it. In Vietnam, most Buddhist temples still practice the traditional rituals, which are preferred by older people, whereas young people prefer meditation. Conditions permitting, we will expand our meditation facilities, which will probably attract more young practitioners. As a matter of fact, young people demand truths that they can verify, and meditation helps them search for their true selves. This kind of progress can be verified. Meditation presents them with an opportunity to improve themselves. Westerners, by contrast, seem to be gradually losing their faith in traditional religions. Progress made by science has diminished their faith in a supreme being. Such developments have expanded our awareness of the external truth that surrounds us. We believe that the meditation we are now teaching will be well liked by Westerners. In fact, as basic human needs are met, people begin to ask questions about who they are, what they are, and why things are as they are. When basic needs such as food and clothing are not met, we have to find ways to satisfy them. Once these needs are well taken care of, we ask ourselves why we merit such good fortune. Meditation will help Westerners look deep into themselves and not focus on the outside world. Looking into themselves helps them see themselves more clearly, and understand who and what they are. If Westerners do not know themselves, progress in science will be useless. We do hope more and more young Westerners will take the time to turn inward for better self-understanding.
But I'd like to once again thank the Venerable Master for your participation in this program and for spending this time and sharing your ideas with us.